Hello everybody! With the World Cup starting today, well, I'm taking this last opportunity to give my predictions of this super exciting event that awaits us. Well, since when in predictions everybody's an expert, well, allow me to share my 2 cents on what I think are the favorites in this event. You can see on the screen the players that will take place in Baku, and I would like to maybe analyze a little bit the 6 biggest favorites, at least when it comes to rating. So let's start with the elephant in the room, the participation of former world champion and current world number 1 Magnus Carlsen. It's an interesting decision for Carlsen to play in the World Cup, but on the other hand, maybe an understandable one. I think after he decided not to defend his title, he slackened on the preparation and regime area, and I think this has showed. When it comes to Carlsen in his post-World Championship period, I'm always reminded by Igor Bondarevsky's words that he said to his then pupil, you could say pupil, Boris Spassky, who was a world champion at the time. So prior to the match with Fischer, he told Spassky, if you don't work, you will lose the match. And you know what happened? Bondarevsky saw that Spassky was not really willing to work. And Soviet times were complicated times, and Bondarevsky just quit as Spassky's main coach, main second. Even though they achieved their greatest successes, they won the world championship match by beating Petrosian, and he quit, not wanting to be responsible for Spassky's loss, which he thought was inevitable, as Spassky was not really willing to put in the work. And he was right. We know that Spassky lost the match to Fischer, and Bondarevsky was right. And I think here there is some similarity, because Carlsen obviously stopped working on the level that he was working before, and this showed this showed in classical chess, because he had a really poor year. He had a mediocre result in Wijk-aan-Zee, he scored a negative result in Norway chess, losing 1 game and drawing the rest. So lack of work already started to show. It hasn't started to show at faster time controls. So at faster time controls, Carlsen has been fantastic. He's been winning left and right, scoring great result at the Zagreb, I think, Grand Chess Tour, winning like fantastic 9 out of 9 in 1 day in Blitz and so on. So he has been excellent at faster time controls, and the reason for this is that he can still remain very strong, the best likely, at faster time controls, even without the work necessary to remain best at classical time controls. And this is for the fact that he can still use his preparation, sometimes even risk more in his preparation, and of course use his natural talent. So for Carlsen, I think perhaps a viable strategy in this event would be, draw classical, win in rapid and blitz. And it's a viable strategy. Many players have adopted it and done very well. And I think, of course, Carlsen remains a beast in classical as well, but a lot of players can, by now, from the favorites, can probably not lose to him in classical. But in rapid and blitz, he remains a massive favorite. And this, we will see how it goes. But I think this strategy can be a very interesting one for him to follow. So let's move on to the next one on the list, Hikaru Nakamura. He got a wild card for the event. Some people complained about it. That's irrelevant, really. And I think for Nakamura, he's a freshly married player. He recently married, and there is this very nice joke in the chess community. Once you marry, you lose. This depends on who's telling the joke. You lose 50 or maybe 100 rating points from your strength. It may not necessarily be so in his case, we will see, but I think Nakamura has had a great year so far, having risen to the second place in the ratings, and he had a fantastic result winning Norway Chess, the classical event, yeah, by beating Caruana in the last round in a basically must-win situation. And he has stressed it himself. His main strength is actually this inner freedom that he obtained by moving out of professional chess. He does not consider himself a professional chess player, because basically what he's mostly doing is streaming and creating video content. But don't let this fool you, because when doing this, when creating this content, he's actually immersed in chess all the time. So even though he's not maybe professional, as for example he gave Wesley So as the typical professional who's working on chess all the time, he's still immersed in chess. He still forces his head to work at all times by playing these incessant blitz bullet tournaments, winning title Tuesdays and so on. So he keeps his head working at a very good level, and this keeps him in good shape basically at all times. Don't forget that he also has a very shrewd opening preparation. For example, the game I mentioned against Caruana in the last round in Norway was a game in case. He went into this 2 knights variation. So he went knight g5, went to some forcing variation. He caught Caruana unprepared and basically won the game one-sided without a fight. So shrewd preparation, opening preparation, psychological stability. The guy is a multimillionaire, just married, everything is great in his life, at least appears to be so. Fantastically strong in chess by natural talent and all the work he has done in the previous years. Exceptionally strong both in classical and faster time controls, makes him a really strong favorite in this event. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how far this goes. Of course, 2 game matches are very stressful, and of course nerves will be vital. This goes for everybody, but as we said, Nakamura's not really depending on this tournament on anything, okay? So he can just play and see how far it takes him. Caruana, number 3 on the rating list, and also third favorite in Baku. I think with Caruana, what I've noticed, or at least it reminds me of, is the I call it post-Kasparov effect. In 2005, when Kasparov announced his retirement, let's say 2 players immediately gained, or at least it looked like it gained in strength. And these 2 players were Topalov and Anand. So you see, for many years, they've been around since the 90s, okay? In the 90s, Kasparov was dominating everything. And, maybe in some subconscious level, they felt that, okay, they can't really beat him. So they were there, they were top 3, top 4, top 2 players all the time, but never number 1, because Kasparov was there. He was this ceiling that they could not go over. And then 2005, Kasparov retires. And all of a sudden they felt like, wow, now the sky is open. Now the sky is the limit. There is no ceiling. There is nobody to stop me from getting to the top. And first it was Topalov, okay, in 2005, winning San Luis. And then it was Anand, winning in Mexico, the World Championship, then beating Kramnik in a match, yeah, and then basically dominating. And I think this is what I kind of felt that happened to Caruana once Carlsen decided not to play the World Championship match. He kind of felt, oh, the guy is away out of the picture, and everybody else, I can beat. I've proven I can beat. And he showed it by having a really good year this year. He won the Bucharest Grand Chess Tour event, the classical event, without a loss. And he almost won Norway Chess, except for that unfortunate last round loss to Nakamura. So Caruana is really, I think, experiencing a kind of a second youth, if you will. And what I think, apart from all the excellent positive characteristics that he has, amazing calculation, great opening preparation, great all-around player. What I think is very, very important for him is that ever since that 0-3 loss against Carlsen in the World Championship match in London 2018, he has been steadily improving at faster time controls. And you can notice it, at faster time controls, he's, I think, already on par with all the best rapid and blitz players in the world. And he has been really consistent in Title Tuesdays and all the other events. And I think this is a very important factor in modern chess because, well, like it or not, very often classical events are decided by rapid tie breaks that can also even go to blitz tie breaks. So being great at faster time controls is a very, very important factor. And with the, of course, the World Cup being such a tough event that can easily go to tie breaks, I think this newly acquired characteristic for Caruana can be a very, very important factor working in his favor. Let's move on to the next one, Jan Nepomniachtchi. Well, kind of a dark horse for me. You know, I think I've read some interviews by Jan recently, and he confessed that he is deeply scarred by that loss to Ding Liren in the World Championship match. By all appearances, he was kind of destined to win. He seemed to be playing better chess, he was better prepared, he seemed better, more stable psychologically. Everything was pointing in that direction, you know, and I think he also believed that. He was also looking confident, playing confidently, but then, yeah, we saw what happened. He missed his chances. Ding got his chance in the last game. He took it, won the match. And I think this left a deep scar in Nepomniachtchi's psyche. And he wasn't the most stable player even before that. So it's difficult for me to say how he could fare in Baku. Of course, he has tried to recover. I think in the last event he played somewhat better than before, than when he was playing really badly. I'm not sure, I think it was Bucharest. And he has improved, but it's difficult to say how far he can go. Of course, he still has his massive opening preparation, mostly unused from this World Championship preparation. And he's also excellent at faster time controls, but this psychological moment, I think, can play some tricks on him, especially as, you know, these tense two-game matches are normally, well, difficult to handle. On the other hand, he does not feel the pressure to prove anything in Baku, since he has already qualified for the candidates by losing the World Championship match. So, on the other hand, this freedom to perform well as it goes can work in his favor. So, favorite number 5, then Anish Giri. Well, Giri, I think from all these favorites, is the weakest when it comes to faster time controls. He has never really impressed, and I think this is his main weakness. In classical, of course, and preparation-wise, he's probably, well, he is among the best in the world, and he can also beat anybody in the world. But this, I think, marked weakness compared to the others in faster time controls, I think, can be really a negative factor for Giri in this event. I think he should do something like Caruana did, you know, to try to get, well, I'm pretty sure he's working on it, to be honest, but so far it hasn't shown. Maybe this is the tournament it will. But I think for Giri, being no inferior to anybody else when it comes to other components chess-wise, I think the faster time controls are what makes him somewhat weaker than the rest. There's another factor which I want to mention when it comes to Giri, and that is his, I call it blabbering on social media. I've read somewhere that he said that he's actually relaxing by doing that, but somehow I don't buy that, because I have this feeling that this, I think, too heavy engagement when it comes to social media takes away some of the inner energy. You know, it disperses energy, and I think Giri would be much better off if he dispersed less energy to social media and concentrating that energy inwards for further growth. So this is just my personal take, how I see it when it comes to this aspect of his, let's say, social media life. And then we have the sixth favorite, Wesley So. Wesley So, well, we know Wesley, yeah, solid as ever. Nakamura also called him gave him as an example of a chess professional working on chess all the time, and well, solid as ever. And what I think also going for him is that he has also done the work that Caruana has done, which is consistently trying to improve when it comes to faster time controls. And he has done it successfully. He has risen his level when it comes to faster time controls. And this also makes him a very dangerous player. Obviously, incredibly difficult and solid to beat, but that also, the other side of the coin, being tough to beat like this, is that he sometimes, when perhaps a bit off form, can lead to drawing ruts. He lacks this breakthrough power, that is necessary to win games at the highest level. And this is the flip coin, yeah. But when in a good form, when he has this little edge that allows him to win games and remain solid and not losing games, he's of course up there, best in the world, yeah. So for So, I think it will largely depend on the form. He will be solid, that's a given, but he will need this extra breakthrough power in order to not to end up in some drawing rut, which can easily lead to even an Armageddon game, yeah, where just one move, yeah, one moment can decide the fate of the event. So these are the six main favorites, my thoughts, my characteristics, my predictions for the World Cup. And I would just like to add a few words about Gukesh, who has already by now risen to number 11 in the world. But I think in view of the relative inactivity of Firuja and Anand, who are in front of him on the rating list, he's basically a top 10 player. And I think you should never bet against young people when it comes to sports and achievements generally. And I think this makes him, again, okay, maybe not the dark horse like Nepomniachtchi, but somebody who can surprise, but that surprise would not be a surprise. Because we have already, I think people already start to expect great results by Gukesh, and just doing excellently in the World Cup really wouldn't be a surprise to me at all, because youth, energy, focus, confidence, all these are strong assets in his, let's say, player's profile. And well, we know that nerves and confidence are what decide matches. So Gukesh also, I think it's a very, very good candidate to do well in this event. So this is my wrap up. Again, I called it predictions, but I didn't really say who would win. And I won't say it because I really don't know. I don't even have a gut feeling about it. But whether it would be some of these 7, yeah, including Gukesh, these 6, and I analyzed, and then Gukesh, or would be somebody somebody else. You can see the list. You have the locals, Rajabov and Mamedyarov. You have the Frenchman, Vachier. Then you have Grishchuk. You have, Duda, who won the World Cup last time. Lekwang, Vityugov, Abdusatorov, another young talent who you wouldn't be surprised if he does well. Dubov, Erigaisi, another young Indian talent who, well, again, can basically beat anybody, especially in short matches. So it's anybody's game, and that's, I think, why everybody loves the World Cup. It's a fair event. Everybody gets a chance, and feeling good, being on good form on a given day, more or less anybody can beat anybody. So I'll wrap up my prediction, my analysis, if you wish, for the World Cup. Well, it starts today already. The games are probably on the way. but the main favorites will start play a bit later. The format is a bit changed, and well, but in a few days we will start witnessing the games of the main favorites, and well, I'm looking forward to following them. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. My thoughts, yeah, and well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.